What's up guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Micah and today we're going to be talking about liter bikes. 1000cc super sport motorcycles. Do you need one? Does anyone need one? Is it the right purchase to make? And is it the right bike for you? Let's rip into it. So when I say liter bikes, we're not just talking about 1000cc motorcycles in general, right? You can get a cruiser that's 1000 cc's and the thing's slow as hell, right? It's a total turd. We are talking 1000cc inline 4-cylinder super sport style motorcycles, okay? So we kind of saw the rise of liter bikes start in the early to mid 2000s, right? It seems like everybody was doing a 900 or a 9 something, right? Honda, Kawasaki, different brands had their kind of high horsepower super sport bikes. Well, in 2003, 2004, we kind of saw the 1000cc super sport class begin. And even back then, these were crazy high horsepower machines. This right here is a 2006 Kawasaki ZX-10R. It makes 181 horsepower. Now the brand new 2023 ZX-10Rs make 203 horsepower. Absolute insanity, to say the least. But upon riding them both, this one is still just as fast. So 181 horsepower sounds like a lot, but once you realize that this bike has a dry weight of 380 pounds, I mean, that is an insane power to weight ratio. To get a new car that has that same power to weight ratio, you would be spending as much as you would on a brand new house. So these are absolutely crazy performance machines, to say the least. And it's hard to imagine that power until you actually ride one. And it takes an expert rider to be able to handle that power safely. And it's not a matter of being brave enough or courageous enough, manly enough to be able to handle that power. It takes years of experience on motorcycles to be able to handle that. I mean, from the clutch work to the throttle work to everything about it is just so extreme. I mean, it has a 6-speed gearbox. First gear goes 110 miles per hour. You're not even done letting out the clutch until about 20 miles per hour. I mean, the level of finesse you have to ride this bike safely and smoothly is ridiculous. Now, I worked at a motorcycle dealership for a while, okay? And all the time, I would have 17, 18-year-old kids coming in saying that they wanted to buy their first motorcycle, and they were thinking about a CBR 1000RR, a ZX-10, a Yamaha R1, a BMW S1000RR. And that's understandable in the sense that, you know, you want your first motorcycle, you want it to be fast and cool and just totally awesome. But the level of skill needed to ride one of these machines is far beyond what a beginning rider, even an intermediate rider, has. If you've never ridden a bike before, or if you're new to motorcycles, a machine like this is going to take you to your limit, right? You will in no way, shape, or form ever take this machine to its limit. You're not going to learn anything. You're not going to be able to build to make yourself a better rider because you have a machine that's just so far out of your skill level, so far away from the, you know, ability level that you are at. It's just going to be flat out dangerous for you to try and ride one. Now, there's a couple different reasons why people think that they need to purchase a liter bike. The first reason that some people get a liter bike is because they have a very small wiener, a choder, and they want the world to think that they have a monster dong. So they get a liter bike. The second most common reason that I see people getting into liter bikes is that they're not quite ready to settle down. They want to still get that wild strange on the daily. Third most common reason is just those people who want to go blazing fast and they see the specs, the performance specs of these machines on paper, and they say, wow, it can go 0 to 60 in this time, runs the quarter mile in this time. That's amazing. I can beat all of my buddies. I need to get that. And it is a fraction of the price of getting a car that is capable of going that fast. But it is far easier to drive a car that is that fast versus driving a motorcycle that is that fast. It is not even comparable. It is literally a death wish if you are not an expert level rider. And if you do get a liter bike and you do not have extensive experience on a motorcycle, you are going to be so scared of that thing and driving it so slow and look like such a noob when people see you out cruising. People are going to think you're a total dork, and then your initial goal, the whole reason you got a liter bike to be this cool guy, is totally all for nothing. Now, why did I purchase this liter bike here? Well, kids, it was just to make an informative video about all the info you need on liter bikes like we're doing right now. So that's probably enough of an intro. Now I think we're gonna gear up, we're gonna strap the GoPro on, we're gonna take this bad girl out for a little lap around the town. So you guys can kind of see what it is like to cruise on one of these. I'm gonna try and just tell you everything that we're experiencing, everything that we're going through as we're riding this, so you can kind of get a well-educated idea of if a liter bike is ever going to be something that you want or need, if that's ever going to be in your future. So without further ado, let's hit the streets and do some riding.
All right. About to take this rowdy girl out and about. Goddamn, these things are just so ridiculously fast. Woo. Well, time to see what the ZX-10R is like today. We are filming, so I suppose we'll just start our little ride. So we'll just kind of do a loop here. It's kind of around the edge of town, and then we'll buzz out to the country quick so we can find a nice open space to really let this baby rip. Kind of open her up just a touch. But at the end of the day, this is definitely a bike that will take me to my limit. I cannot take this motorcycle to its limit. It's much more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. And this thing is just geared so tall. I mean, you know, first gear goes about 110 miles per hour. So around town, like, I didn't even finish letting out the clutch until about 20 miles per hour. So if you find yourself in downtown slow-moving traffic, I mean, you're just feathering that clutch the whole time. It's just less than fun. I mean, we're just barely off idle at low RPMs, you know, cruising at 35 here. Around town is just not a great place for these bikes. I mean, they just want to run. They have so much power and so much torque. Those gears are so tall that unless you've got some wide open space, I mean, you're just babying this thing around. And with all that power, you know, you barely touch that throttle, and it's just will snap your neck back and forth. I mean, granted, we got up to third gear here now, but I mean, we're at 3,000 RPMs. We're just babying this thing. And I like to bang through a few gears, you know, whereas on a liter bike here, if you do that in town, you're at 140, 150 miles per hour. And you're on borrowed time if that's going to be your daily routine, I tell you what. But now, even though it is a liter bike, you still get all the perks of having a sport bike, right? So it's incredibly light, agile, maneuverable. You can just whip it around. It's really fun to get into some twisties with sport bikes. But these liter bikes have so much power that it's much more fun to rip those twisties on like a 600 or something. And the 600s are quick, you know, up to 0 to 60, up to 100. They're about neck and neck with these liter bikes. But where the liter bikes really pull ahead is just going to be above that 100-mile-per-hour mark. Oh, we'll hang a right here. Actually want to take this other road out of town here. And we are in Mexico. This is not in the United States. So don't worry, anybody. Oh, shoot. These 06 ZX-10s have a design flaw. The ignitions here are extremely buzzy. So hopefully that doesn't come through in the video. Hopefully you just hear me talking and maybe a nice exhaust note here. So I've got to fix that. I had remedied that problem on my 2007, but I have not gotten to it on this 2006 yet. Oh, we'll just kind of take the back roads here to get to this one road that I want that leads out of town. Oh, roundabouts, those are fun. This is a tight one though. Knee down. Whoa. I do love the agility that these sport bikes have. You know, and the liter bikes 600s are basically the same weight. So it's not like you're getting a lot heavier bike going to that 1000 size, which just makes it all the more faster. I mean, that it weighs the same as the 600s pretty much, but then you get 70, 80 more horsepower. I mean, it's insane. Everything about these machines is just so extreme. You know, you can't take this machine to its limit. Like I said before, you know, all the time I will see kids who, you know, they watch a bunch of stuff online, they look at all these sport bikes, and they think that they want a liter bike for their first sport bike. And that is literally the worst decision you could ever make. I mean, it's just so extreme, you know. If you had never skied before, you wouldn't be like, oh, maybe I should jump down a double black diamond. God damn. I was just barely getting on it there. You know, in first and second gear, if you really punch it, your front end's just off the ground. Oh, we'll get nice and low around that one. Oh, that felt good. Alright, we can't get too crazy as we're still kind of around people and traffic and stuff like that. We'll try and get out to the middle of nowhere before we really get nutty. I'll get up to top gear. Okay, so we're going 50 miles per hour in top gear, and we're at 3,000 RPMs. 3,000 RPMs. The red line is 13 at 50 miles per hour. Which kind of makes these things nice when you're cruising down the interstate at 75, 80 in 6th gear. Man, your RPMs are so low. Because these things were made to just freaking run. 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Oh my God, the front just wants to come right up. Now another thing about wheelies on these liter bikes is that they're so torquey and they have so much power that the wheelies are just violent. You know, that front end just comes right up, and once it's up, if you're trying to hold it there, you know, like that torque and power, you barely move your throttle, and it's just, your front end is just up and down and up and down. It's so much easier to do nice smooth wheelies on a 600 or on a naked or something with just a little bit less power. Alright. We'll get to second gear here. We'll peek over this hill. And if we don't see anybody, maybe we'll give it the juice. Warm up our tires here. Do we see anybody? Nope. It's time. God damn. That's 130 or 140, just like that. I just want to punch it once more. God, that's exhilarating. God damn! My face is just peeling off! 150! 150! In a matter of seconds. On that speed, it wasn't slowing down at all. God, it's just... it's so much machine. Like, you can see somebody doing that in a video like this, and you're like, oh, that's cool, I want to do that. When you're actually doing it, just the force you feel like pulling on you, like that bike is literally trying to get away from you. It is trying to throw you off. And it's a fiasco to hang on to it. Maybe we'll do a little wheelie up this hill. Oh, baby. And almost 100. God. There's just, you can't do anything slow on these. You can't do anything slow. Like, it is much more fun to do wheelies between 15 and 40 miles per hour, not 80 to 90. I mean, the slightest mistake and you're toast, man. Or certainly your bike is toast. But you just need to approach these leader bikes with a mindset, with a respect for the power. You need to work your way up as you ride them. You know, this bike can do so much and go so fast. It has so much power. But you as a rider need to slowly work yourself up when you're riding these things. It's far too easy to, I don't know, ride beyond your ability on these because they're just so extreme. And you want to be extreme on it because that's why this thing was built, right? Is just to be faster than anything else. You know, and I like these leader bikes so much more than like a Hayabusa or a ZX-10, or not ZX-10, but ZX-14 rather, just because they're so much lighter and more nimble. You know, a Hayabusa and a ZX-14, it's a pretty big bike. It kind of feels like a whale. You can't even, you like can't even obey the law if you wanted to on these stupid things. Oh, and it looks like somebody's burning a field or something over there. Maybe trying to burn it down before they start planting. God, I really just want to punch this thing once more after we get through these hills. But maybe that'll be the last time that we really get on it here. So do you need a leader bike? No is the easy answer. Nobody needs a bike like this. You know, is it fun to just daily drive? Absolutely not. It's violent. it is violent. Like just the torque, the shifting, everything takes such precise motions to make this drive smoothly. You know, but I think a 600 is just perfect. You'd enjoy that a lot more around town. I mean, a 600 will still get up to 160, 170. It's plenty fast. In the high RPMs, you know, you're screaming. You have that wonderful exhaust note. But the liter bikes are just different. I mean, if you just want to own a motorcycle that is so fast you think your face is going to just peel off when you are accelerating, yeah, you need a liter bike. You know, I've had several over the years, and I always ride them for a few months, and then I sell them because I'm like, that thing is so fast, I am absolutely gonna die if I hang on to that motorcycle. Alright, second gear, 60 miles per hour. Oh gosh. Alright, here we frickin' go, kids. Just no sign of the power tapering off. Oh yeah, there's our fire. Yeah, they're burning the fields. God, it's just like, holy smokes. It just gets there so fast. I mean, I'd have to play back the video and see how fast we got from 60 to 160, but didn't feel like it took too long. Whew. That is fun. There is just nothing quite like the speed of these things. So I mean, maybe it is something that you gotta just try. Definitely don't just jump right into it. Do not get a liter bike for your first bike. The only thing you're going to learn how to do is crash, if that's what you decide to do. If you get a liter bike for your first motorcycle, would not recommend. But if you've had the small bikes, if you've worked yourself up, you know, if you've become a very competent rider, if you've fashioned your skills over time, if you have a respect for a great amount of power, maybe you're ready for a liter bike. But I have a feeling that you're going to do exactly what I did and get one, ride it for a few months, and then sell it because you realize this is just stupid fast. But part of life is about having fun, you know. If you don't want to do the things that you're scared of, well, then we'd end up just sitting at home on our couch, and that's kind of a worthless life to live, if you ask me. There's a balance. You want to have fun, you want to be safe, but sometimes having fun involves being a little bit risky. But not too risky, just enough. And there is a cool factor, right? So all your other biker friends, or anybody who knows motorcycles, oh, Harley guy, give him a wave. He didn't wave back, classic Harley guy. You know, because if you're not riding a Harley, to the Harley guys, you're just on a scooter, and you'll never be as good as them. Oh, and their Harley is the most powerful, fastest thing on the streets, you know. Harley guys are freaking retarded. Not all of them, just most of them. But anyways, like I was saying, to all your motorcycle buddies, if you get the liter bike, there is a sense of respect from all the other bikers that you will get, because they know that you're on the big boy and you got a lot of power between your legs, baby. Woohoo! Okay, sometimes I get carried away there, just like right then. And it might be more expensive than you think to own a liter bike, because you might end up getting some tickets for wheelies and going all too fast. And don't run from the cops, kids. We need the police. The police are there to keep us safe. And if you're driving all too fast through the center of town and being a hooligan, they need to try and stop you. You know, you're gonna hurt somebody, hurt yourself. We can't have that going on everywhere. I used to run from the police a lot in my younger days when I had very fast motorcycles like the one that we're on right here. Oh, please don't pull out, bud. See me coming. Used to run from the cops a lot, right? It was almost fun. I'd almost try and find cops to wheelie past them to then run from. But that's a dangerous game to play, going that fast, you know, through town and zigzagging between cars, and you just shouldn't be doing that. I'm 31 years old now. I'll own up to my mistakes. If I was going too fast or doing wheelies, I'll stop and man up to the ticket. You know, not that I don't like going fast and doing wheelies, but you just got to be smart about it, you know. Do it in a safe spot where you're not endangering anybody else. It's always going to be somewhat dangerous for you, of course, because, well, just wheelies and going fast is a little bit more dangerous than just following the speed limit and going in a straight line. But it sure makes me smile. So that was a good little ride. Not too shabby. We just kind of took the loop. We got to goof around a little bit. You guys got to see kind of how crazy these liter bikes can get. I have been riding street bikes since I was 15 years old, and I say 15 because I got a motorcycle learner's permit when I was 15, so I could ride along with my parents and any friends who were over 21 who had a motorcycle license. And well, now I'm 31, so what, that's 16 years and put about 250,000 miles in the saddle. So, and I've never crashed or looped a street bike doing any dumb shit. So, thank you, Lord. Because not everybody can say the same. But, like I said, it's just going back to that ride within your ability. Know your ability. Work up slowly. Don't just try and get the gold. Be the coolest, fastest guy out there. You need lots of skills to work to do that. So, whoo, baby, that was fun.
Well, and that's probably going to wrap up the video, guys. So hopefully you have a better idea of what owning and riding a liter bike is like. I mean, these are just the craziest performance machines. It's hard to imagine until you're on one. So don't just assume that you have the skill to be able to ride one of these right off the bat. You're gonna hurt yourself if you live to tell the tale of it. So like the video if this helped you out. Subscribe if you want to see more. You'll definitely be seeing more of that ZX-10 in future videos to come. And of course we still got the Honda 919 as well. It's whited out with a nice snakeskin seat on it. Ooh-wee.
And then we got a supercharged Range Rover as well, so we're gonna do a video on that, of how buying an old used Range Rover is, problems to expect, if it's a good idea or not, or if you will lose your ass on it. Till next time.